test-driven part of the app where I can move my buckets back and forth. I have now written myself a little layer. This used to be the hello world layer. You notice it's a lot smaller because all we're doing is creating the buckets that we made before. This should look familiar. And we're binding a sprite to them. And then we add the sprite. Now, I showed you before, if I try to put this in a unit test, it's going to blow up. Our goal here is to put as little code in these areas as possible. And point of fact, your app is generally going to grow in the direction of your game. So if you've done anything that's got a decent-sized framework before, and I can use Rails as an example for that again because I know a lot of you have done it, when you start the app, everything's in that framework. But then 6 months later, you realize everything's in plain old whatever language objects. The app grows away from the framework. But if you're bound to it early, you'll move a little bit faster early, not much faster if you do things right, but you will be stuck with it if you bind early and stay bound to it. And you will slow down drastically. If it was a graph, you would show two people and one would be moving a little bit faster and the other would catch up and then surpass him because he's going to continue on a more linear speed while the other one is going to go, why did my test take so long? Why do I have to do all this stuff to get running? Now, I've bound my sprite to the buckets. My bucket sprite is dirt simple. And this is actually what I want my Cocos classes to look like. I want them to look kind of like a DSL that I don't actually need to write tests for because it's not really code. There's no if statements, there's no branching, there's no polymorphism, there's no real difficult code going on here.